These are expressions, and the main difference between an expression and an equation is an equation has an equal sign and an expression does not. So what I want to do is to go ahead and just write everything down like it is, except when I get to a parentheses, the numbers stuck to the parentheses need to be distributed to everything inside. Now this negative 7w, it's not stuck to the parentheses, so I just write it down as negative 7w. This negative 5 is stuck to parentheses, so it has to be distributed. When you distribute, you multiply. So negative times a negative is a positive, and 5 times 3 is 15. And then you have a z there. And the negative 5 also has to be distributed to the 7w. So a negative 5 times 7 is a negative 35, and you have a w. That's a negative 35w. I'm actually going to stick that in my w column. I'm going to make columns out of all of these. That's a 5. Let me try that again. Okay, that takes care of the parentheses, and then I have a negative 2z, so I'm going to put that in my z column. Okay, so for my w's, I'm just going to add in columns. So for the w, a negative 7 and a negative 35 is a negative 42. And then for my z's, 15 take away 2 is a positive 13. So negative 42w plus 13z, that's the final answer for that one. Okay, on the next one, I have a negative 7y. Negative 4 times 7 is negative 28, and I have a z, so that's a negative 28z. Negative 4 times negative 2 is a positive 8, and I have a y, so I'm going to put that positive 8y in my y column. And that gets rid of the parentheses, and then this positive 4z has to come down under my z's. So for the y's, negative 7 plus 8, that's like 8 take away 7, so that's just a 1y. And then for my z's, negative 28 plus 4 is a negative 24z. Now, normally if you have a 1 in front of a variable, you don't write it. So they're going to write this answer. You'll see this answer written as y minus 24z. Because, again, you don't have to write the 1 because 1y means 1y. Okay, on the next one I have a 3w. Negative 4 times negative 6z is a positive 24z. And then negative 4 times positive 6 is a negative 24. And you have a w there, so that goes under my w's. And then my negative 2z's, that just goes under my z's. So for my w, 3 take away 24 is a negative 21. And then for my z's, 24 take away 2 is a positive 22. So you've got negative 21w plus 22z. Now on the next one, you've got a negative 6w. Negative 3 times negative 3x is a positive 9x. And negative 3 times 6w is a negative 18w. That goes under my w's. And then plus 6x goes under my x's. So for my w's, negative 6 and a negative 18 is a negative 24. And then for my x's, 9 plus 6 is a positive 15. So I've got a negative 24w plus 15x as my answer. Okay, so this 7w not stuck to parentheses. Now, if there is no number stuck to parentheses, it's assumed to be a 1. So you kind of got to put the 1 there so you can distribute it. So negative 1 times 3x is a negative 3x. And then negative 1 times negative 3w is a positive 3w. That goes under my w's. And then I've got a negative 5x. So for my w's, 7 plus 3 is 10. For my x's, negative 3 and a negative 5 is a negative 8. So I get 10w minus 8x. This next one, negative 3 times negative 3 is 9, and there's a w there. Distribute, negative 3 times negative 4 is a positive 12, and that's a z. Go to the next parentheses. 6 times negative z is a negative 6z. You put that in your z's. And 6 times negative 6 is negative 36, and that's a w. Negative 36w. So for your w's, 9 take away 36 is a negative 27. And then for your z's, 12 take away 6 is a positive 6. So the answer to that one is negative 27w plus 6z.